Chapter 119 to 120. Tick. Amon placed the cup of tea on the table. Currently, he was sitting on a creepy old ship with Yona beside him and a talking skeleton in front of him. The ship was in a foggy area with nothing more around it. But both Amon and Yona didn't seem to mind it. Amon reached here after wandering around the sea for a few hours. It was possible to find it even in this Grand Line, since there were pretty famous rumors about this foggy place already. Yona had a frown on her face while looking at the skeleton. "My lord, is this an evil spirit?" In this foggy sea, Amon had an unexpected encounter. "Who?" The skeleton jumped up. Evil spirit? You mean ghost? Where?" Amon laughed, seeing this. He didn't mind some humor every now and then. "She is joking, Brooke." After calming down the skeleton, Brooke, who he just met a couple of minutes ago, Amon patted Yona's head. Now, he is not an evil spirit. I think it's the effect of revive fruit." Brooke laughed. "Yo-ho, that's right. You are quite knowledgeable. It is indeed the effect of revive fruit. The fruit revived me after I died." Brooke shredded tears. You are my first encounter who isn't scared of me. I'm so happy, yo-ho-ho." Amon laughed with him. Yona was suddenly interested. "A fruit that can revive people, like the one from our legend?" Amon shook his head. "No, the one in Birkin Legends isn't this one. This isn't a devil fruit, but something scientific." Even Amon was confused if this was scientific or not. The one in Birkin myths was clearly just a myth, and nothing more. Even if it was something more, it didn't matter at all. Amon then looked at Brooke. "Then, Mr. Brooke, what do you think about joining me? I'm a king of a kingdom, an emperor of the sea. Though I assume you are not familiar with that term. I'm in search of strong people, though I also need musicians." Brooke suddenly got emotional. "Yo-ho-ho, I've been stuck here for 50 years already. I would thank you if you take me in." Brooke bowed slightly as Yona stared at him with narrowed eyes. "I have to be careful of the evil spirit. But," Brooke continued, "it's such a pity that I can't leave this foggy area." "Why is that?" Amon feigned ignorance. "My shadow has been stolen away by a big-bellied man. A shadow is the second soul of a being. If I go out in the sun without one, I will be burned alive by the sunlight." "Is that a devil fruit ability too?" "Yes," Brooke answered Yona's question. "Without retrieving my shadow, I can't join you. I am terribly sorry." Brooke apologized while Amon was smiling reassuringly. However, he was frowning internally. This was supposed to happen 2.5 years from now on. But Brooke met Gecko Moria now. Butterfly effect. Amon just sighed. It wasn't anything bad, rather, it is surely because of his presence. "Do you know who it is?" Amon feigned more ignorance. "The fat man, I mean." Brooke went silent, searching his memories. "Gecko Moria?" "Yes, his name was Gecko Moria." Amon made a surprised face. "Oh, now I understand. He is one of the 7 warlords, a system newly formed in your absence." Amon already chatted with Brooke, and Brooke talked about how he's been wandering in the sea for years. Amon continued. "He is someone who ate the shadow fruit. I can see what you meant by, my shadow got stolen. That's his fruit's power. Retrieving the shadow from him isn't that hard, but it's not easy either." Brooke nodded. "I know it's hard. I experienced it myself. But I was still planning to do my second attempt today. Yo-ho!" Amon smiled. "You don't have to. I have some business with Gecko Moria. When I'm done, you will get your shadow back." Brooke frowned with his non-existent burrows. "I will get my shadow back just like that? Wait, he plans to kill him?" It would make sense that his shadow would return even with him not being there, only if Moria dies. After a moment of thought, he sighed. "This is none of my business after all. Even I am a pirate who did bad things. Even so, here the bad guy seems to be Moria. Still, I can't allow you to do this for me. It's against—" "Calm down, it's fine. I will be done in half an hour. If I fail, you can come to assist. You did say you already invaded there once, but seeing you here, it must mean you lost." Amon stated. "In that case, assume it's a favor from me, your future leader, since you decided to join me." I am in need of a musician. Amon flashed a charming smile. Then, see you in 30 minutes. Amon didn't teleport, but rather flew off at an astonishing speed. Teleporting would make lightning flash, thus creating light which will then hurt the shadowless brook. Amon's first priority now is getting strong subordinates. Although Brook's fruit is something that can grant a third chance to Amon, he has already eaten a fruit. While he does plan to eat 2 more fruit, this wasn't one of them. If subordination doesn't work, no, only if subordination doesn't work, will I extract the fruit from today. This is a line Amon drew. Now I need immediate strong people. I don't have enough time to extract fruits, then give them to someone who's under me and then train them. It will be too long and inconvenient. Although that's the case, there can be variables. Like shadow fruit. Gecko Moria doesn't deserve it. Zzz. After flying far from Brook, Amon expanded his observation and looked for Thriller Bark Island. His 300-kilometer range easily caught the floating island since it could only be hiding in the foggy area. He teleported at the top of Thriller Bark and stared down at it with shining red eyes. Amon was looking for a certain person. Ghost Princess, Perona. He found her after a single second. The holder of one of the Opest fruits, Hollow fruit. With its abilities, she is truly fearsome. She might even be successful at taking down emperors, though certain people would be immune to her depressing ghosts, such as pessimistic people. The ones who are already depressed can't be depressed even more after all. After inspecting her, Amon teleported inside her room silently. A pink-haired girl was playing with half-transparent white creatures, ghosts. The girl was Perona, a subordinate of Gecko Moria. Amon will kill Gecko Moria today. Amon doesn't have any use for him. But the other people along with Perona are different. Killing them won't benefit him, so he will just recruit them instead. I want to take over the world. Sign my name as the leader of this planet in the space station up in the other planets. For that, I need strong people under me. They don't necessarily have to be super loyal. Being scared is enough. If they say no, he will then proceed to brainwash. While Perona was lying on the bed on her tummy, Amon walked from behind her. He placed his hands on her shoulders silently. "Ah, who is it?" Irritated, the girl turned around. "Absalom, how many times did I tell you to not sneak up on me in my room?" Perona's eyes grew as her brain caught up to the situation. The one who sneaked up is not Absalom, but rather a person she doesn't know. Assassin. As the thought crossed her mind, she instantly prepared for battle. She pointed her palms at the assassin. A ghost came out of Perona's hand and rushed forward. It's a ghost that would drain the will of any person it comes into contact with, making them very negative and depressed about themselves. Everyone would be affected by it, even if they have conqueror's haki. The ghosts went through the assassin, Amon's body. There is a way to defend against this ghost. As long as the person was already depressed, they would be fine. Meh. Amon patted his chest. He was fine. A depressed soul can't be more depressed, right? Don't bother, it won't work. Amon stretched his body while the surprised Perona started to spam ghosts. Shoo, 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 shoo. None of them worked. In fact, some of her ghosts became depressed instead. In Brook's ship, it has only been 50 seconds since Amon left. Brook was still surprised. My, he is so fast. I didn't even see him, yo-ho. He then slowly turned his head towards Yona. Then, would you let me see your panty kyaha? Before he could finish his words, Yona's hair started to float in the air as they rushed towards him. As I thought, you were an evil spirit, or else what type of man wants to see a girl's panties? Yona's hair was about to catch him, but Brook barely got out. Yo-ho, I'm sorry, yoo-hoo. Brook started to run while Yona chased after him. I will exorcise you, evil spirit. Swoo. The pink-haired girl, Perona, spammed ghosts towards Amon, but Amon didn't seem to be affected at all. He didn't explain why, while Perona was dead confused. This never happened before. Why are my ghosts not working? And, what up with that deadly aura? It was as if a predator was playing with its prey. A few seconds passed. Seeing Amon not showing any hostility, Perona stopped. She decided to first inquire about his identity. Who are you? She was still on her guard, but he didn't attack. Amon stared at her with aloof eyes. Lucifer, the Sky Emperor. Amon's smile radiated the same dangerous gleam it was radiating in his bounty poster. Perona's body shook. Dangerous? Even in her shocked state, Perona seemed to catch on to his words as her round eyes grew. Now that I look at him, yes. She pays attention to the newspaper, so she recognized him even though her mind was hyperactive right now. But just as she recognized him, another thought crossed her mind. Wait, no, this is not a good thing. Why is a former warlord of the sea, a current emperor of the sea here? She only reached one conclusion as her legs became weak. He's here to hunt Gecko Moria. Perona took steps back. If Moria is hunted down, she will also be because of being his subordinate. Wasn't that right? But she won't give up without a fight. Even if her negative hollow was nullified, she had more attacks. They would damage him for sure. But would it be a good idea to provoke an emperor? Ultimately, at that thought, Perona stopped. Her life was precious. Besides, the aura around Amon didn't let her think of any smart moves. She decided to take the easy route and inquire about his intention. Sir, how can I help you? Sweating, Perona gulped a few times in this short sentence. Ha ha ha. Amon laughed reassuringly, but his dangerous aura was still present there. I won't harm you considering you stop attacking me. Perona gulped again. It's good that you recognize me. She nodded shakily. I am not here to harm you, rather I am here to recruit you. I need strong people like you. Amon had a smile on his face. Perona knew she wasn't that strong to attract an emperor of the sea, but she felt good being complimented. Normally, Amon would have chosen a more laid-down approach. He would have talked reassuringly, but since Perona's personality was that of a laid-down person, acting the same won't work. Acting hard was the way. Amon continued. Join me. You will receive tremendous bonuses. There aren't many restrictions either. Amon smirked, seeing Perona's eyes glow for a brief second. After all, an invitation from a person like him is a big deal. He pushed further. I'm sure you don't like this place filled with corpses. After joining, I will grant you a place to stay above the clouds. A few seconds passed while Perona's surprised mind understood what he meant. An emperor was inviting her. For the first time, she felt a little relive in his presence. Won't he provide more protection than Moria? To begin with, she was only working at this shabby place because of protection from Marines. Being under a warlord was beneficial. But if she can get more protection, then why not? After all, Moria doesn't even treat her nicely. The word bonuses also caught her attention. She almost decided it, but she had a thought. Currently, everyone's top priority was Amon. Marines, pirates, and emperors would bite him the moment they get a chance. Will it be a good idea to go under him? Perona gulped. And what if I decline? While she managed to ask that, Amon's smile turned cold and his eyes darkened. His previous aura returned as Perona felt her legs shake. She was one step away from peeing herself. This was the aura of an emperor. It's pretty clear, isn't it? You will be tortured before I kill you. Amon finished his words with a crazy snicker. Psychopath. Did she have any choice other than to accept his offer now? As her first job, Perona was ordered to propose the same offer to the other two, mysterious four other than Gecko Moria. If they declined, she should capture them. So Perona left to do so in fear. The mad Dr. Hogback accepted her offer since he was only here for his dead crush. The offer included the well-being of his crush even after Moria's death, so he didn't mind accepting it. However, Absalom didn't accept it. He retorted, but Perona easily defeated and captured him. All this happened in under 5 minutes, so Moria was still unaware of it all. Amon forced Absalom's body to shut down by injecting electricity into his brain. He will brainwash him later in Baccarat's presence. Truly, the power to hypnotize and brainwashing people is very handy. Amon felt lucky that he researched the hypnotic guy's boy from years ago. If not, he might have missed a lot of opportunities now. Now, rather than meaninglessly killing them, Amon can use human beings to their fullest. The things that are unachievable by hypnotism can be done by brainwashing. All right, your job is done, Perona. I rate you a 5-star for your first job. Perona smiled smugly. She liked how he didn't just kill Absalom. Maybe he wasn't as bad as she thought. She opened her mouth excitedly. Then, it's fine. Amon cut Perona as if he knew what she was about to say. You don't have to fight Gecko Moria. I will take care of it myself. Rather, send your ghosts all around the island. Try using them as eyes. Soon, all the shadows will leave the zombies' bodies. I need you to deliver me to their locations. Amon couldn't sense shadows using observation. Even though he could use Thunder Eyes to back that weakness up, it would generate light. While it won't harm the shows themselves, the light generated will hurt and even kill the shadowless people lingering on the island. They are precious test subjects. I can't let them die. Now it's Moria's turn. Deciding this, Amon teleported to Moria's room. In a huge room, an ugly white-skinned humanoid creature was lying down with his back, his hands locked behind his head in a carefree manner. He was laying around like he always does, a person who dreams to become the pirate king by lazing around. It was Gecko Moria, one of the 7 warlords of the sea. Zzz. May. Hearing the sound of passing electricity, Moria rather dismissed it as flies roaming around with his eyes closed. No, something is off. After a few moments of silence, Moria felt a little strange as he opened his eyes with a frown. His eyes met an old pocket watch moving in front of his eyes. They were instantly locked on the watch's rhythmic movements as Moria's eyes then started to spin. Where am I? Slowly, a man's silhouette appeared in front of him. He was the one holding the watch. Good grief, this wasn't even a challenge. Lazy bastard. After Amon teleported behind Moria, he only observed as Moria lazed around. In the end, expecting that even hypnotizing would work, Amon took out his pocket watch. Generic hypnotization doesn't work on everyone. Ambitious, smart, or strong people, and some specific people are immune to it. But Moria was none of them. Lazy idiot. Amon easily hypnotized Moria with his decent skills in this field that he's been cultivating for 8 years before revealing himself in front of him. He had only one question for Moria. What did your devil fruit look like? It was a question many people heard from Amon in 19 years of his life, but no one is alive to tell the tale of it. It looked like a muddikin. Moria answered the simple question in a simple way and received a simple death. Amon Pov. Moria was a worthless man. Such a deadly devil fruit was wasted on him. Yes, he was, but not anymore. I looked in front of me. Moria was lying on the floor with a hole in his chest, not breathing anymore. I have killed him without him even realizing it. Warlords are weak. In my left hand, there is a fruit basket. I brought this from Skypiean a second ago. The basket contains 5 round green fruits of the same type that didn't exist in my previous world. However, I know this was the muddikin fruit that he was talking about since I do memorize their names every day, even now. There are millions of fruits in this world. I only know a small part of them. There were cases where my victims didn't know what their own fruit's name was, so I had to miss out on some good fruits. Such a shame. But after I gain memory reading abilities, this won't be a problem anymore. Slowly, one of the fruits started to turn strange. The green skin became black in color and started to form golden uncrypts on it. There were green leaves that started to pop up out of nowhere. The fruit now looked like a proper devil fruit. Suddenly, I sensed someone approaching this room. The person pushed open the door. Creak. Hey, mister! All the zombies are collapsing and shadows are leaving the bodies. It was Perona who I asked to watch after the shadows. What do you want to do? No. She stopped talking after seeing Moria's dead body and the hole in his chest. She was too caught off guard by the crimson blood to notice the strange fruit in my hand. Gecko Moria, Perona gulped. Is dead? Perona was shocked, but I didn't care. She was a pirate. She obviously killed many people in her life. This shouldn't be too much for her to bear. I ordered her. Ignore him, he's already dead. She knew if she didn't want the same to happen to her, she had to obey. Provide me the Shadow's location. I threw a walkie-talkie at her. Talk in that thing. I will hear everything with my earpiece. Now start. Perona was still shocked, but she pulled her courage to move her lips. Who can guarantee that this man won't kill her too? Yes, there are 150 shadows in the northeast area. I nodded. Zzzt. Teleporting around, I entered my slow world. Around me were countless shadows flying out of the island. I started to grab them and tied them up with a rope. Yes, a shadow freed from the clutch of the shadow fruit user can be touched by normal people. It was shown in anime too, if I recall right. Luckily, shadows are immune to light, so they didn't perish by my flash. Like this, I grabbed a few and tied them. Grabbed and tied, grabbed and tied. Perona kept giving me the locations on my earpiece. Her ghosts are useful. And some shadows have already left the foggy area, but I didn't care. I just moved fast and brought them back here. These shadows were important to me. They are like an army. I only missed the ones who already entered the bodies of the people residing on this island. Oh, my shadow returned to me. Why, yes. I could even hear some of their voices from up here, though their happiness would be definitely short-lived. First, let me give the fruit to Yona. Then I will deal with them. I continued capturing shadows for another 10 minutes before I was able to gather around 6,000 shadows. It was fun, to be honest. Well, now time to give this to my dragoness. First, let's talk with her a little. I'm not sure if she will accept this. Since Shadow is a second soul, will she be fine playing with that so-called mortal soul? So, what do you think? I asked Yona. It's a good fruit. Yona had a darkened face as she exchanged glances between me and the fruit. This is harder than I thought. I also noticed Brooke, who was broken into pieces in a corner of the deck, acting to be dead.